jàmm réew mi moo gën ci réew mi wax ju bon ji day yàq réew mi jëf ju baax ji mooy def réew mi.
Hello viewers, if you are watching, warmly welcome back to another fresh edition of the Youth Conversation. I remain your host FANTA KIJERA, and here today I have another FANTA here with me. The topic of discussion will be legal aid. But before that, we would like to know who is FANTA, make an introduction of who is FANTA, about her childhood, then we proceed to the topic. Then I will allow her to introduce the viewers, then we proceed.
Hello, thank you very much FANTA for the beautiful invitation. Like she just said, I am FANTA SANNEH, 25-year-old Gambian, born and raised in Talinding, and passed through school level just like any other child, from Talinding Primary School to SDA Primary School, from there to Gambia Senior Secondary School, 2010 to 2009 to 2012, and I graduated from Gambia Senior Secondary School. Then from there I proceeded to GTTI, where I did my diploma in law. And that was a 3 years intensive course. And from GTTI in 2018, I enrolled at the University of the Gambia. I'm currently pursuing a degree in law. I am an activist. I'm a gender advocate, like any other young person.
Feminist.
I'm a feminist, very well. And I'm also a proud member of Africans Rising for Justice, Peace and Dignity. I'm a mediation fellow from the reputable Institution of International Peace and Human Rights Development in Africa.
Wow.
And I am also a student of the University of the Gambia, like I rightly mentioned. That is who FANTA is basically for you.
Thank you so much, FANTA, for that wonderful introduction. And I'm amazed that you are into so many things, being so young, and you have put yourself into so many things, which is really important. And I think a lot of young people out there will be inspired. As this youth conversation, it's here to inspire and motivate the youth, to tell them that giving up is not an option. Then FANTA, first, as being a law student, I want us to discuss about who is a lawyer and what is law.
Yeah, if I have to tell you who a lawyer is and what is law, it is diverse. People always hold different views of who a lawyer is, and there is no universally accepted definition of who a lawyer is and what is law. Yeah, but from various schools of thought, you have feminist schools of thought, you have various schools of thought that talk about who a lawyer is. And if you ask me from my own perspective, I tell you a lawyer is someone that has an understanding of the law, someone that has gone through the stages of university education, legal ethics and morals, have to go through all the courses of criminal law, tort law, to understand, to have a general overview of what law is generally. Yeah, but if you ask who a lawyer is, generally people tell you somebody who stands up for stands up for people. Yeah, somebody that owns up to the responsibility of people, somebody that will stand to fight for the voiceless. That is somebody in the normal parlance, somebody will tell you that is who a lawyer is. But in a legal perspective, if you ask who a lawyer is, it would be somebody who has gone through all the stages of defending people, to know what advocacy is, to be able to represent people in a competent court of law. That is basically who a lawyer would be.
Thank you so much. Okay, now I would like to ask you about what is legal aid.
Yeah, legal aid is not far from actually what lawyering is. Yeah, legal aid is assistance or legal representation of somebody, not somebody who doesn't know their rights or responsibilities, but somebody who does not understand the legal framework. It's like people will tell you, when you go to the magistrate's court, it's easy for you to just come and have your summons and let the judge hear you. That is why any other normal person can just speak at the magistrate's court, because it is a lower court if you look at the court hierarchy system of the Gambia. But if you go to the High Court, it's a whole different ball game. You understand that it is not any Tom, Dick and Harry that can come before a judge and say whatever it is that you want to say. Everything. That's why we call it in law a court of records. That's what they call it. So when they say a court of records, it means a court where everything is documented, everything is written. Whatever you have to say is written in white paper before it is presented. So that is why it is called a superior court.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, what is a legal aid society in your understanding?
Yeah, legal aid society, in my own understanding, would be a society that is being guided and protected by people that are legally minded. not everybody knows about the law. You must endeavor to know the law. But not everybody is as grounded as lawyers are in the law. So they don't understand the legal framework. So when society is guided by moral rules and conduct, it is easier for them to be able to coexist in peace and in harmony, being guided by the laws that they are bound by. That is a legally aided society.
Do we have any legal aid department in the Gambia here?
Yeah, sure. We definitely do. We have the legal aid in the Gambia. It's located opposite the Gambia Bar School in Banjul. It's a special office of its own. It's also established by an act of National Assembly, an act of Parliament. So it also has an act that governs its framework, the way it works, the way it functions, and everything. So the act is called the National Legal Aid Act of the Gambia. Yeah, so it's currently functional, and we have lawyers in this country that are a member of it, that are part of it, that currently work under it as permanent members. That is to tell you that every other person or every other lawyer that has gone through bar school in this country is a part of the legal aid agency. But we have specific lawyers who are assigned to work in that office, that work there permanently. Not the other ones are still part of it, but then they only come to that office when there are issues of legal aid, when somebody needs legal aid. And when somebody needs legal aid, there are specific criteria usually when you need legal aid in this country. So legal aid is usually for somebody who doesn't have the finances for a lawyer, for the services of a lawyer, so a person can come and represent you. It's when we hire the services of the legal aid, but it is sustained by the government, partly by the government and partly by our own funds. So when I say our own funds is when we are represented by somebody, a lawyer from the legal aid, whatever benefits you get, at least a percentage of it is also, given to the National Legal Aid Agency. That is, it's paid into their coffers to also keep them going, because remember, we have people in there that are working, and everybody that works at least deserves a wage or something to take home at the end of the month. Yeah, so that is how it works. And then when you need legal aid, that is where you go. So there are two crimes in this country that usually most times when you need legal aid, that is the only time they refer you there. Sometimes it's when you have an offense that attracts a life sentence, a death sentence, or a life imprisonment. That is the only time you will go there. When you don't have or afford the services of a lawyer, you will go there, and then those people will assist you. You will basically fill a form, and then they will have a lawyer that represents you.
So those are their services.
They offer. And for the other lawyers in their law firms, they are also a part of the agency, like I said. But then that is usually when, let's say, it's an issue of human rights, or let's say it's an issue of rape or murder. Yeah, usually those are capital offenses in this country. Yeah, very well. So when they are capital offenses and they know this certain lawyer that is grounded in that area, or let's say this lawyer is exemplary, he's amazing in this area, this is his specialty, let's give it to him. That is when maybe these lawyers in the other firms are called upon, and then the file will be submitted to you, and then you, like lawyers do, it's a brief, you have to go through it, have to understand the facts, the issues in there before you're able to react to it. So that is how the legal aid agency functions in this country.
So basically that is their job they offer to the public,
that is their
citizens.
Exactly, that is their job, and it's enshrined in their act, like section 30. That issues crimes that attract life sentences or death imprisonment usually have to come to the legal aid when under the condition that you don't have the finances for the services of a personal lawyer. That is.
But do you think that they offer those services according to the law book?
Yeah, I mean, they are guided by a code of conduct, and lawyers usually are expected to act within the confines of the law and not go outside, because I mean, you are the ones that protect the law actually in our society. So if a lawyer goes default of the law, I mean, what do you expect the common Gambian to do? So it's basically they are being guided by this code of conduct, and they are expected to act in accordance with it. So that's how it functions, and it's usually by far, I mean, they have done well in their respective work.
They have a different book, different from the constitution of the country.
Yeah, sure they do, but then you must understand that the constitution is the supreme law of the country. So whatever law you draft has to be in accordance with the constitution. Whatever act you see, the Children's Act, the Women's Act, all of these acts a derivative of the Constitution. They are drafted in tandem with the Constitution. Any other code that is been drafted that is against the Constitution is null, like we all know. So it has to be within the Constitution.
Within the Constitution. Okay. As you study in law as a career, what is the punishment when it comes to like robbery, rape cases, and murdering and murders?
Yeah, I mean, all of these offenses attract sentences very well, but then you must understand you have certain things to prove. You just don't come before a court and say somebody committed rape. I mean, you have so many ingredients to prove when it comes to rape. You have to prove if there's penetration. You must have to prove if the person actually did the act like that. So you must have to prove all of these ingredients to be present for you to be able to successfully raise the charge of rape or any other, like murder you just mentioned. Yeah, so that is how it works. And obviously, when it's a capital offense and it attracts the life imprisonment when it comes to rape, because it's a capital offense in this country, and it's very, very serious according to our code.
Okay, so when it comes to the new constitution in the Gambia, the young people are saying that they feel like they have a bit left out when it's come to the new draft constitution. What do you have to contribute to that?
like activists all over the world are just like that. We are always on the other end. We almost always have reservations about everything. Yeah, but then I think the draft constitution has been drafted in our favor going through it, because I, as a member of Our Nation, Our Voice, which is one of the leading youth-led movements in this country that is championing transitional justice in this country, so we have sat down and discussed this draft like any other concerned citizen. And then we have raised some certain reservations, obviously, the term limits of the presidency and a whole lot of other things, but then that has been taken care of. And as it is right now, the one that is making waves in the media is the presidential term limit that the National Assembly is asking the CRC to revisit. But then if you ask me as a youth activist, I'd rather they don't revisit it, because it is our constitutional right to put whatever it is in that is in our constitution. And then again, the constitution should be drafted to reflect the wishes and the realities of our current situation right now. And as for us youth in the Gambia right now, I can tell you for free that every youth wouldn't want the presidential term limit to be more than 2 terms.
No.
Yeah, and the National Assembly currently is telling you that is unfavorable for Barrow's leadership, but that is not our problem right now. Our concern is that no president that comes into power doesn't serve more than 2 terms, and that is the law. And trust me, that the constitution will have to go via a referendum, and the president obviously at the very end must have to assent to it. And trust me, he will assent to it, because that is our wish, that is our reality as we are today, and that is what we want for this country. So as youth in this country, this is what we want for ourselves, and we must build a society, we must build a Gambia that we all want for ourselves.
Exactly.
It's a generation, it's like a baton that we have to pass on to the younger ones that are coming. So we do not want to hand to them a failed situation or a failed country as it is.
Okay. What is the difference between like an attorney and a counsel? It's a bit like sometimes I used to mix them, so I don't know what's the difference between them. Because I would say some people will say attorney, some people will say like a counsel. So what's the difference?
Attorney and counsel are both lawyers. They are all grounded in the legal fraternity. Yeah, a counsel would say somebody that is basically representing you in court. You say counsel, senior counsel, junior counsel. It's like simply saying a lawyer. An attorney is just like that. And you have the attorney general.
Yeah.
He's also a lawyer. And it's vice versa. They can both be used interchangeably. But let's say if you say an attorney general, it means the boss of all the lawyers in this country. So that's why we call him attorney general. But he's also
from barrister.
He's also a counsel. He's also a lawyer. A barrister is also a lawyer, and a barrister is, let's say, somebody that has just graduated from bar school freshly. It's a barrister and a solicitor of the Supreme Court of the Gambia, which I actually aspire to be someday.
You will be, inshallah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
So they're all lawyers, and they are just terms that can be used interchangeably. There's no hard and fast rule about it. And that's
Since you have been started to study law, what are some of like the difficulties you have faced? Because some people will like to discourage you and tell you that like studying law, it's like you will be a liar or you will be a bribery, corruption.
That is just the layman's fault. That's just a layman's fault. I mean, people should be free to choose, allowed to choose whatever it is that they want to be in the future.
Where their
And
passion lies.
exactly, that is where my passion lies. I've always wanted to be a lawyer, and I don't see me being anything other than a lawyer. I find find the profession very noble, and I find it worthwhile to do. Yeah, so I mean, obviously every career that you probably want to choose might actually have some challenges you might face as a young person, but then that is what actually makes you stronger. That is what keeps you going.
Yeah, it keeps
You
you
must cultivate the zeal of going for whatever it is that you want to go for, and whatever you do, whatever it is that you want to do for yourself. Yeah, so there are challenges. Obviously, people will tell you the legal fraternity is saturated. Obviously, it is true we have so many lawyers in this country, very well, but that shouldn't stop you from becoming one. I mean, those people didn't look at the fact that, okay, there were so many lawyers in this country, I don't want to be one. No, the legal fraternity is just as open and fertile as anything. I mean, there are so many areas of the law that are not being tested in this country, and you go to other jurisdictions, you find that like almost all the areas of their laws are being tested, and that is because they have so many lawyers in the legal framework or in the legal fraternity.
Yeah.
So why not us? Why not Gambia? So I don't see the legal fraternity as saturated. Yeah, and if I'd have to tell any young person out there to go for it, I'd advise you go for it, because that is definitely what you want to do. We need so many lawyers in this country because we want to at least one day control our jurisprudence. We want to at least one day control our judiciary system, our legal system, and everything. We don't want to have a foreigner as a chief justice of this country or the attorney general. No, we want to have Gambians in that top positions, exactly, and do whatever it is that we want to do with our country, and not hire at least foreign judges. I mean, in Gambia, we've always had foreign judges sitting in at our Supreme Court.
Even at this moment?
Exactly. At the apex of the courts, you have foreign judges, of course, but those people is like, Gambia is a Commonwealth country, just like any other country, like Nigeria and Ghana. So if you can practice in Gambia, you can actually practice in Nigeria or Ghana, and that is because those people have had experience. The more you grow in the legal fraternity, the more experience you become. So this is why we need to study law. This is why we need to venture into the field, because we want to have as many experienced people as Nigeria has. We want to have as many experienced judges as Ghana has. So this is why we should endeavor to actually study law, and then we will make it someday, hopefully.
Okay, since we have come to the end of it, but like I have some questions to ask you is like, what are some of the challenges when it's come to family matters, something that shocks you, a tragedy that you have faced on your way?
On my way to study law?
Be it family, not
just my personal life, actually. Yeah, I've had so many situations that shock me though. Sometimes it's better not to let it out, but I have so many situations that really actually frustrated me, but then that did not stop me from going. It got me motivated. It kept me going the more. In my family, we don't have lawyers, so we have, like my dad, he's not a lawyer, but actually he's grounded in human resources and everything. So it's actually a pleasure that I have to be the first lawyer in my family, or probably my little sister has to be the first lawyer in my family. I mean, it's amazing. Yes. So one of the things that really struck me was the fact that my dad was probably dismissed, and then he was incarcerated for some time, but then it was fine. It's life, actually. That's how we call it, we refer to it, but it's still okay. That didn't stop me from doing anything that I want to do. It didn't stop me from pursuing my dreams as a young person, and I'm still on it, and I'll always go for it.
Okay, what are some of the achievements you have overcome?
The achievements I've overcome? I mean, let's say I come from a family that is very, very reserved. My dad, in the beginning, he would not allow you to, be in the forefront. He's always protective of his kids and his family. But there comes a time in your life when you actually have to make a decision for yourself. There comes a time in your life when you have to choose who you want to be, actually, and not have anybody dictate to you, this is how I want you to be, this is what I want you to be. I'm actually happy that I am a very, very free someone. I'm actually liberated. I'm liberated, and I can do anything that I want to do. So that virtually has become my greatest achievement. I'm actually a liberated someone. I'm a feminist and the activist I want to be. I've always been somebody that has always wanted to stand up for people and
to be the
voice of the voiceless. And actually I have achieved that, and thank God, at least I can represent people, even if it's a little chunk of people, but at least I can actually express what it is that they are feeling, and then have the public hear it, and that's, for me, is an achievement.
Okay, what will be your final words before we wrap up?
Thank you so very much for this beautiful platform, and this is what the young people in this country need. We need these platforms. Actually, we need to take ownership of our platforms. So young people have so much to give to this country, and we should give young people a chance to actually take the lead in this country. We are not too young to lead. We are never too young to lead, and trust me, we will always be in the forefront.
We are not to belittle.
Exactly, that's what they call it.
Yeah.
So we will be in the forefront. I will make sure we make a difference. We will make this Gambia, a better place for us, the young people, and everybody else in this country. Thank you
Okay,
very
Fanta,
much.
I would like to thank you so much. And viewers, we have come to the end of the youth conversation. But before I take your leave, I would like to tell you thank you so much for our viewers who have been constantly following us. Drop your comments, we'll put them into consideration, much more implement them next week with more young people who are doing super amazing across the country. Till then, bye.
wax jàmm réew mi moo gën ci réew mi wax ju bon ji day yàq réew mi jëf ju baax ji mooy defar